Guess what? It's the Stanley Parable 2, apparently. Even though it's supposed to be the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, which is stupid, as the narrator said in part 3. Sorry about the background noise, everybody.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
The reassurance
Stanley
bucket.
lifted
I
the
forgot
bucket
about
into
this.
his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
It's my bucket. It's my bucket. Oh yeah. I got my reassurance bucket. Nobody can touch it. I have a friend in the background who's insanely quiet and might not speak
Stanley
up.
clutched the bucket tightly
I
to
don't
his
know
chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
if he
Stanley
will,
had felt
but
the bucket calling to him, telling him that
also
the
sorry about
employee
the
lounge
background
was
noise
simply
once
the
again.
place to be.
My
And
siblings
here it
are
was. Had the bucket
being
turned
loud
out
and
to be
playing a
correct?
game.
Was no, never mind.
and I figured
bucket was
I'm just
wrong.
gonna record a video because I'm
Stanley
bored.
took the door
So,
on his left to go
and
back
besides,
to the
I enjoy
meeting
this
room.
game and it gets good views. So,
No,
and I just want to
Said the
make sure.
bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go
People
somewhere
like-
else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
You found one of them.
Yeah, let's
Miniature
go.
Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these.
At
Only the
all.
intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
Yes.
You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
You know, you can talk, right, Carter?
But you still need more defenses than just that.
Focus.
He's very focused on my ability to play the Stanley Parable game, I guess.
Still more defenses than stop me.
What happened if you jumped?
I don't know what happens if I jump. Should I?
Yeah.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Damn, that's cold.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Shut the fuck
Stanley
up.
went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Meeting today in the meeting room.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Oh wait, I got that one. The famous.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
3 minutes left.
This is different. How we can find them all. There will be a reward for finding them all. I believe the crazy person writing on the walls. How can you tell you've spotted one? There's one in the toilet room? Oh my god.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This
Bro's got
broom
aura.
closet
Holy
believes
shit.
it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the
Bro, can you
boss's
feel
office.
that aura of the bucket, bro?
Yeah.
This bucket's got serious aura. Let's go!
Stanley figurine.
Yeah!
Halfway there.
There really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands?
Mini
Stanley
stands.
figs. What about
Stanlerines.
Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine
Under your belt. Hat. Alright, bet. Dude, that slideshow was actually top tier and top notch, bro. Holy shit. Go, what the fuck?
Oh, what is that?
Business strategy. Shoot panda bear. Going up. No. Going. No, I don't want to go in there yet. Hold on. Okay, I'm going in here now. because I'm going up and down. Bro, why are there god tier fucking notes in here? I want to go up and then I want to go down. No, I want to go up. And no! This is my jam, bro. Yeah, you can play the whole game with one hand. Oh, what the fuck? How long do I have to sit inside the elevator? Dude, listen to it. Guys, we're like god tier. My headphones are so loud. Okay, fine. Fine. I'll go fucking down. Oh, I just have to click the button again. I want to go in the elevator though. Bro, no. Okay, fine. Fine.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines
And Figlies.
What do you think, Stanley?
Figlies,
What name
Figlies,
better
Figlies,
encapsulates the
Figlies,
intrinsic
Figlies.
sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Figley really tickles the spot.
That's not very sexual.
The elevator raced
You're-
downward,
you're-
plummeting towards an unknown fate.
This is kind of a
It
family-friendly
would be all Stanley
thing,
could do
so
to keep
shut the
himself
fuck
together,
up.
if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him.
No, you're
reassuring
not,
him that
but
in
shut
this
up.
darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be
Mind
all right.
control facility.
The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Do I want to go down there?
No.
Yeah. This game doesn't need logic. Because I got a bucket.
The bucket's safe.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Drop.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the
The
narrator.
narrator.
As Stanley
Oh,
and
now
the
it's a
bucket
girl.
were led helplessly into the enormous metal
Here,
jaws.
you want to hear it?
In a
I don't know
single
what
visceral
I don't know if you
instant,
know what the original
the bucket's
narrative
life
sounds
came
like.
to an end, as it was
Yeah,
crushed
that's what it sounds like.
violently to death.
Casual man voice, kind of.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious
Holy
bucket
crap,
to
that's bright.
behold.
A grand exhibit of bucket.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than
Bucket.
Stanley will ever be in his short life? No
Bucket.
man can own a bucket. And
Bucket.
certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Fuck yeah. Only I get bucket. Me and me alone.
There is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
The fuck is up with this game, bro? Buckets rule the world. Period. Alright, well, I'm
All
back.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, which means I have to probably take a different...
Warmth spread through
Path.
Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms
Okay,
again, he was
input
home.
1. And then that should be input 2.
Hey Austin, where's my tablet?
On top of Mom's dresser thing. Next to her TV. Psych!
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
I don't know if
This was
anybody
not
saw how
directly
fast
into
that
the meeting
360
room,
was.
But Stanley had felt the bucket
Bro, I
calling
pulled
to
that
him, telling him
quick,
that the
180,
employee
bro.
lounge was
Like,
simply
bop.
the place to be.
Bop. I also have my sensitivity on max, though, so...
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind.
The bucket was wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
Sure did not.
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The
Oh, I don't
cargo
wanna-
lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
There's something
Stanley
up
did
there
not
I need you
question
to
why
do.
or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here,
Said the bucket.
go into this dark room over here. Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone,
Said the bucket.
Well, I could unplug the phone.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something
where's my
to him,
bucket?
but I don't know how I can convince him.
Oh, there it
I
is.
don't know if he'll listen to me. Well, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location.
I don't care.
That's
Shut
it.
the fuck up.
It doesn't do anything else. You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Oh.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more,
Now he's getting
what am I trying
it.
to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid.
This
it
game
would
is
be
so
better at
fucking
moving an
retarded.
amount of water from one room to another.
That's why we play it.
Oh my god, it's so funny though.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular
Because
bucket?
it is more than just a regular bucket, dum-dum.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on?
It's about to get
Why do I want to
zesty
be
in
with
here.
the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
I closed my eyes. Tell me when I can open them. I can't take this stress anymore. What the fuck happened?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
What could it
Perhaps he
mean?
had simply missed a moment.
Well,
Don't have the bucket this time.
input received. Boop.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Alright,
and
now I have to go
smiled.
get a different
He'd
ending.
never be alone again. Not truly alone. Not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched
So
the
I
bucket
can't-
tightly to
I
his
have
chest.
to get
This was
full
not the correct way
endings.
to the meeting room.
Other,
But
like
Stanley
full
had
different
felt the
endings
bucket
in order
calling
to
him,
get.
telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here
Yes,
it was.
it was.
Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. A cargo lift. Yeah, good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride
the
the lift
fuck up,
all the way to the
bitch.
top. There's something up there I need you to do.
No.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I had the feeling that...
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up
Are
to
you
this
reading this?
point, which, if that's true,
Perhaps
well,
you don't
my
know what the
goodness,
difference between a
I
bucket
think we
and
have
a
to do
bucket
something
is.
about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly.
Oh my god, dude.
So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh, well, I guess this is a different ending then. Is thy bucket. Is this a
Now
bucket?
then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket.
I got that right. I said it wasn't a bucket, but because it's a hologram of a bucket.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Yeah, get it right, guys.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
I'm so good at this game. Wait, is it a good life skill to know the difference between...
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
I don't know. That's a hard one. Next question, actually. Skip. I don't know. Yes? Oh,
Are
darn.
you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to
It
the next.
doesn't like me anymore, I don't think.
Ooh, a tractor bucket.
Is this a bucket?
Yeah.
Correct. This is a bucket.
How is that?
It's the exact same thing.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
How? How is it both? Bruh.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here.
No, there's a
and
bucket
I don't
right there.
appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
Yep.
I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game.
No! No!
Okay.
No!
Here we go.
No. Fuck off.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
Told you so.
God, I had no idea. How could... except me.
I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets.
That's terrible
Yes,
news.
I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's
Oh my
delightful
God.
to get
Okay,
some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the
I don't
fact
know how
that we
much
haven't got a
recording
game.
time I've been.
So, tell you what, I'll
Um,
reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Yay!
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
everything's a bucket. Dude, that's kind of crazy.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office? The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Yeah.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no.
No, never mind. The
bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Red room?
Did you find that?
No. I have not found a red room yet. Okay.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it?
Okay,
The
so I
broom
gotta get.
closet. It coming to a staircase.
I've got
Stanley and the bucket
to
walked upstairs
go
to the
up here.
boss's office.
So it's a room.
Do this now. Go over here. Holy shit. Oh my god. I found another computer.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once
That's
again
some expensive
stunned
wine,
to
shit.
discover not an indication of any human life.
Do,
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh, guys, I'm sorry for being so quiet. I'm just like so invested into this fucking game. Like, it actually requires some serious, like, of my concentration for me to play this shit.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Mind control
Facility.
Alright, I'm escaping with my fucking bucket, bro.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Mine
What
should be
horrible
right
secret did
there.
this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
I'm right
Everyone
here.
in the office was being videotaped,
Right,
monitored like guinea pigs.
Right there. That's mine.
Bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do?
Oh my god.
In the first
This
place?
whole, like, second...
These questions
The second
raised
game is
furiously
literally
in
almost
Stanley's feelings.
only based on the fucking bucket, too.
No!
That's what's funny.
He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except
the
for the
bucket.
bucket.
Okay.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality
Okay.
of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again
Two.
exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends,
But-
Stanley and the bucket, up against the world.
Okay.
They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
1, 2, 3. Bro. Enhance. Look. That is 4. I need to get up there. I don't fucking know. Maybe I should turn on the facility. Mine console idle, awaiting input. And then...
When at last they came to... But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
I like zoned the fuck out.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had sent
Gotcha,
Mr. Memo.
bitch. Wait a second. Wait a second. That did not feel natural for a second there. I was like, wait.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Alright, one more quick ending.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I think we do
But Stanley had
unplug
felt
phone,
the bucket calling to him, telling him
that,
that the
restart,
employee
restart
lounge
that,
was simply
restart,
the place to be.
restart,
And here it
choose left
was.
instead.
Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
And
No,
choose blue door
never
open.
mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley
Carter
took
in the
door on
background
his
has
left
literally
to
no
go back to
idea
the
what I'm
meeting
talking
room.
about. But
No,
I think it was either part 2 or
Don't
part
go to
3.
the meeting room. Go somewhere else. A cargo lift. Yeah, good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here,
Said the bucket.
go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Bloop.
Now pick up the phone.
No.
Oh, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is.
Of
it's
course
sitting
there
right
fucking
here.
is.
Let's take a look.
What is comedic, timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds?
Yes.
Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is
Yeah.
yes. Let's dive deeper.
How?
If
How do
you've
you
ever
answer
told a
an
joke or
how
made someone
question
laugh,
with yes?
in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body.
Hitler?
These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny. I'm Dunny with the
This
funny.
saying is a perfect example of
All right,
expectations
I think I get it.
management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy.
Guys, I got it.
Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop
Yes, the
laughing
yellow
at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and who very
What the
likely
hell
die
is
in a
going
field
on?
full of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them.
What the fuck is going on?
And may Earth reign
Nobody
supreme.
fucking knows. So what the heck
Goodness,
is going
this video is a little
on?
outdated.
Oh.
Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then.
No, they
so
aren't.
With that in
No.
mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
First I gotta walk back all damn darn day. course, you know I gotta walk back every single day. Also, who installed these while I was gone?
I can feel it. This
Like-
time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now.
That?
Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
You gotta speak louder, dude.
Spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
My friend Carter is schizophrenic, guys. Don't worry. He's not emotionally unstable, sadly. Bro, what the fuck, man?
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp.
Bro is
I think-
harsh on himself.
I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my...
No.
Here
No.
we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they
All right,
entered the
left or
door
right,
on the
Carter?
left.
Okay.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
I like how he goes to straight up just...
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley.
Bro goes straight to
I
insulting
heard
me.
that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the
No,
bucket, which
I
was the
think,
whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes.
I think I'm teabagging my
I
own,
need more
my own
instructional
fucking head.
videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
Meanwhile, he's just standing there.
I fucking did it. I am fucking going to. Oh, hold up. I have to. Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording while I do this, and I'll start it again once I get going after this, okay? Okay, well, that had nothing.
How
and
wonderful.
I've
Stanley was
been playing
alone.
for so long.
Finally. This is great, he thought to himself.
so I'm
this is what I've
thinking
wanted all
I'm
along.
going to-
I got what I wanted.
Stop playing for today.
When Stanley came to a
So,
set of two
yeah,
open
that's all for
doors,
today.
he entered the door on his left.
I will be recording another video for the next day. Peace out.